We're talking running right now with the chief of the Boilermaker, Tim Reed.
Good morning.
Happy New Year to you, sir.
Happy New Year to you.
He popped in here with a little bounce in his step.
Absolutely.
I noticed that day.
Enjoy it while we can, right?
Yeah.
Still dry out there.
And I've been thinking about you. I'm wondering if, it's a good thing. Don't worry, Tim. It's a good thing. With the weather that we've been having, I wonder if folks have been out there. I've seen motorcycles riding around.
I've seen a lot more people running than normal. So
that's a good thing. Yeah, definitely a good thing.
It's a time now when New Year's resolutions, which, everyone says, oh, this time it's going to be different. And,
sure.
So there's people out there.
Santa brings you a new pair of shoes.
Santa brings you a brand new pair of shoes.
You can always get out of the area if you want. We had that little game that you might have heard in the promo there, our play and stay game for Red Roof Inn tickets. Anywhere in the country, by the way, that there's a Red Roof Inn. Where would you go, by the way, if you could choose anywhere in the country to get away for a little vacation?
As far south as possible.
Especially on the heels of this forecast, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, you entered the studio before we went on, and you kind of challenged Jay there because you know that he shovels with his brother there for a weekend and plows, and you kind of you hit him a little bit where he lives there by saying, the plowing's coming there, Jay. Right.
Well, it's interesting. The plow people. It's if you're the recipient of the plower. What's the best deal to do? Do you do the seasonal or the per visit?
Yes.
So right now, at this point in time, the seasonal people look like they're on the wrong end. But just remember last year, what last year was like for us?
Yes.
February and March were horrific.
Exactly.
So,
it came late.
It came late.
Yeah,
we stayed long.
We spoke yesterday with Wendy Feichel about the Ride for Missing Children and about how the weather can impact that event. How about the weirdest weather you've ever had for the Boilermaker? Do you recall anything strange?
Knock on wood, Tim.
So I'll tell you, there were two. The two weirdest ones was the first year I came in, which was 2008. And we had and this was actually, it was funny because in a sad way. Bob Ingalls, who formerly was the executive director prior to me, had died just a few weeks earlier from pancreatic cancer. And so I had taken over in regards to it. We had a massive thunder and lightning storm come through about an hour before the thing. I mean, it was, Catherine Switzer was saying, this looks like a tornado. We had Porta-Johns were getting blown over or whatever it was. But about a half hour before the race, totally cleared. And I said, Bob's watching over us. Because, it could have been horrific. And then the other one was a couple of years ago when we had what was potentially a big weather event coming through. We had to make the call at 5 o'clock that morning to say, the race is going to happen. But we're going to have to cut the post-race party a little bit short and it wasn't necessarily because of the post-race party, but it was all the folks that have to clean up the mess after the post-race party. Right. We knew that there was thunder and lightning coming in. So those were kind of the two weirdest.
Tim, I'll never forget a morning that was just prior. I think it was a Friday before the Boilermaker, and we were at our old office at Adirondack Bank, and you were coming in, and I was outside, and I watched you coming up the street that day, and I know the nerves were setting in because, we're talking about this now. Here we are, January, beginning of the year, all your efforts, everybody, all the volunteers coming together, and I know organizations look to you when they put on big events, when they have these large crowds because of your experience with this. So I know it really...
Well, you spend your entire year for one day, and one of the things people have to understand is people say, well, if I don't run the race, I should get my money back. Well, you got to understand something. We've spent all the money.
Right.
Just because, we set the party doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen. At that point in time, really the only money we haven't spent is the money is the prize money.
Everything
else is gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
talking with Tim Reed, chairman of the Boilermaker here on the Talk of the Town at 100.7 FM WUTQ.
Fourth year, Tim.
Yeah. So
the Bibs, the charity bib.
Charity bib. Yeah, a little different this year, and I'm kind of excited about it. We've raised over our past 3 years, we've raised over $400,000 for local charities.
Great.
All runners have to do is to commit to a minimum of $500 for one of our charity partners. This year, we're cutting back a little bit on the amount of partners. Last year, we had 21. You don't know what the wrong number is till you get to the wrong number.
True.
Kind of like so. 21 was a bit of an unmanageable herd to deal with, so we cut it back to 10.
Yeah. By the way, I had wrong numbers in the Powerball.
All right.
All of them were wrong numbers. By the way,
actually, I think somebody should win something. I did too. And it's a gift to be able to miss every single number. You should win something.
That's right.
It's back to the drawing board.
It's like when you play poker and you play high-low. I always like going low to get the worst hand possible. And split the pot that way. So I don't know if you heard our story earlier, but 28 people nationwide had all but one correct.
I know. And, the numbers really, especially for the lower amounts, they're terrible. Right. I mean, if you get 2 or 3, you get what, $5 and a cup of coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, really, it's sad. And I think one of the things is, I'm really digressing.
That's okay.
I think the Powerball really loves to have that one big winner, and I think they also like to get that one big winner who has some hard luck story.
Yep.
And because I think it continues to promote more people to spend money on Powerball.
It hit home. It says, this could be you.
This could be you. They're sitting there looking, saying, yeah, that looks a little like me. If I look sideways.
That's my story. I don't want to go to work anymore either.
Yeah, so it is amazing.
I derailed you, Tim. Sorry about that. We were talking about the numbers of charities that you get
so
involved with.
so we've got 10 charities, 125 bibs. So what we've really announced is kind of the call to action to the not-for-profits is really the runners don't have to worry about it yet. So we've just said to the not-for-profits, if you think you're kind of in alignment with us in regards to health and wellness, tell us what you're going to do with this money. Because, I mean, one of the things is they haven't expected this money. Most of them have their budgets in place. So we want to hear, what are you going to do to make a difference in the community? I'm not super excited about if you tell me it's to help your general administration or whatever it is. But if there's something that's unique that's going to happen that really feels like it's a compelling story and there's ways we can help you, let's make it happen.
And I know this has helped and benefited many organizations throughout the other years. One that's come to mind is the Central New York Veterans Outreach Center.
Absolutely. We helped them, and they were doing some work as far as specifically on the roof project in regards to it, where they ran short in regards to it. Some of the stories have just been tremendous. I mean, some of the charities that have come back again and again, and the store. I mean, everyone loves a good story, and when you hear the stories of a girl who lost her leg because developing MRSA in the hospital, and then ends up getting a running leg, one of the blade legs or whatever it is, she had not run the race in 5 or 6 years. And then gets a chance to be able to do it again for the first time.
Right.
You gotta love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
When you get that personal touch, that's really important. And last time I checked, this is a community that's got one or two health related issues we got to deal with. I think out of 62 counties, we're 56. So we've got a ways to go. I sit there and look and go, wow, look at all the targets we got.
Right.
But we're not number 3. Right. So there's a lot of stuff to be able to do it, and if there's some way that we can help this community, that's what we're all about.
Sure, and it looks like you've got a special email address set up for those folks who want to get involved in that program.
Correct. Charity@boilermaker.com, and we'll send you the application in regards to it. We want you to be specific as possible in regards to it, about what you're going to be able to do, and we'll kind of call you accountable for it, and we're there to help them. One of the things that we are doing too is that we used a national fundraising platform last year. And it was good, but, at the end of the day, we're kind of a super regional race, and if there's a way, I'm cheap. So if there's a way that I can make sure that 100% of the money goes back to the charities, that's where I'm going to go. Perfect. So this year we've kind of set it up more as a homegrown project.
Nice.
So if you're going to give $1 to the charities, we're going to make sure the $1 goes back.
Tim, I'm going to scold you for a second. My mom told me never to use the word cheap. You say inexpensive or you say cost effective.
Frugal.
Very good.
Frugal is cheap with nice clothes on.
There you go.
We're into 2016. First time we've met with you. A Christmas sweater? You wearing a Christmas sweater?
No, this is an old timer. This is an old timer.
All right.
It has somewhat of a Christmas motif.
Yeah.
But January 10th, we reached the halfway point for the race.
Wow!
So we're now on the downward slide.
And are you a New Year's resolution kind of guy or not?
Well, I have a problem with New Year's resolutions because I think New Year's resolutions are a good thing because I think it's a set point for us in regards to it. Yet, unfortunately, New Year's resolutions we're notorious for breaking them. And we usually come up with a laundry list of all the bad stuff, right?
Yep.
And then we wonder why we can't. It took us 25 years to develop these bad habits. How are we going to stop in one day?
Right. I like your take on that.
No, you know what? I do try to. I try to say thank you a little bit more to people. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's not. I guess that's not a measurable thing. It's not like, I want to lose 10 pounds or whatever.
It's a good thing, though.
But to